Thank you for joining me. Your man Diamond K in here as always. RadioOnFire.com, TheDiamondKShow.com. Radio on Fire talks to America through digital news broadcast and social media content. We are a rising multimedia platform generating over 350,000 views and listeners per month through our audio streams and our video broadcasts. From politics, breaking news, celebrity info, sports talk, or pop culture, Radio on Fire keeps our audience covered. A lot of things to dive into today. Today is a day like many other days that we've seen, but I want to specifically talk about what is happening in Kenosha, Wisconsin. It is making major news, and I mean, so many things, so many thoughts about what is happening there. I guess we need to start with Sunday. Sunday, a man named Jacob Blake was shot, and that's where I want to start. That's where I want to start. Just the kind of guy, a pretty typical guy, I would say. Father of 6, okay? Son, uncle, brother. Focused on his loved ones, his family. His kids were important to him, are important to him. He was hurt, injured. His family is asking for prayers, and this gentleman was shot in the back by police officers. And even after this happened, she was praying, his mother, praying with another police officer in the hospital. Demonstrators torched cars and set buildings on fire Monday night. Blake, his mom, was calling for peace, calling for peaceful protests. She said that her son would not be pleased with the violence and the destruction that was taking place, in her son's name. And her son, as I said, named Jacob Blake. And you've been hearing this name, and I'm sure you're going to continue to hear this name. Here's the problem. The problem is that many times people hijack the movement. We have to lock arms and prevent people from hijacking the movement. What do I mean by hijacking the movement? Hijacking the movement, doing other things behind a so-called movement because you want to cause destruction, death, and the such. So, as I said, we're continuing. She's praying. This is the mother of the victim. The victim, someone that was shot in the back multiple times by the police officer. The family of this man, rooted in the legacy of activism and devotion. Before Mr. Blake became the latest victim in a long list of police shootings, unarmed people, the 29-year-old young man who grew up just outside of Chicago, he's in a long list of people, right? And I can go into depth about his grandfather and his father and different things that they did. But he moved to Kenosha for a fresh start, according to his family. Okay? Was he perfect? No, by all means, he was not perfect. Just because you've had some trouble, does that mean that you deserve to be shot and killed by the police? No, does not. Many people go down the wrong path to later turn their life around. So that alone is not a reason that he should be shot and killed. But it is very disturbing when you look at the fact that the police, who have not yet been named in regards to this horrible action, when you look at the fact that this happened in front of his children. So there was a news conference. Another one of his sisters called her brother her light. She said during a press conference that she was crying because she knows how upset he is that his family is upset. And family attorneys say that Jacob Blake is paralyzed. Will probably never walk again. You're hoping, but he can't walk. Okay? And why? Because he was shot in the back, spine, damaged by the bullets of people that were supposed to protect and serve. And so that is the backdrop. That is the backdrop. So how did this happen? How did we get here? Before I can get to the recent, when I say recent, I mean like Sunday was recent. But before I can even get to the latest in this saga that is not over and not going to be over for a little bit of time at least. On Sunday evening, Blake was on a street that had a bunch of apartment buildings on it. Okay? He was breaking up a fight between two ladies. Benjamin Crump, the attorney for the family, said police arrived on the scene responding to a domestic incident. That's what the police are saying. And Rayshawn White was in the area and said that he heard two women arguing when Jacob Blake arrived. He says that he doesn't know when the altercation started. Okay? Rayshawn was filming the incident when Blake walked away toward the driver's side of his car and opened the door. Now we get to the part that has been seen millions of times, right? Police were seen closely following Blake as if he was the person that did something and shooting him 7 times in the back as he leans into the car. Blake did not have a weapon. And in the vehicle were his 3 sons, ages 8, 5, and 3 years old. Now, that is what the attorney is saying, Benjamin Crump. Blake is in a hospital in Milwaukee where he's in an intensive care. He has surgery and a long road back. So, multiple injuries. I mean, naturally, multiple injuries. Gunshot wounds to the arm, damage to his liver, spinal cords, kidneys, and the bullet had to go through some. At least one of the bullets went through some or all of his spinal cord, holes in his stomach. His colon and small intestines have been removed. The family naturally is going to file a lawsuit here, right? They're going to file a lawsuit. People now are reacting to this horrible incident. Now, I'm happy that the young man is alive. I am. And I hope that he recovers full. I mean, I hope that he could recover fully, right? But this right here is the backdrop of what is happening and why people are upset. We already have other instances. You got Breonna Taylor. You got George Floyd. I mean, you got so many instances that have happened in the last few months. And then this happens, and then something else happens right behind that. So people are asking, what is happening right now in Wisconsin, right? What is happening in this city? And it is the norm in Trump's America. This is the America that Trump has been running for almost 4 years, right? Republicans will probably tell you this is what would happen if Biden was president, but this is what's happening as Trump is president. Now, did he invent this? No, but he has emboldened behavior that we're going to see and we're going to get into momentarily. Of course, you're just tuning in. Your man Diamond K in here, 7 p.m. RadioOnFire.com. New episodes dropping. TheDiamondKShow.com, of course, on Spotify and wherever you get your podcasts. So I wanted to talk about the backdrop. What is causing the protests right now that are happening, right? So I haven't even gotten to the events of yesterday. I'm just giving people the backdrop, just the backdrop of what has happened, right? So in all of this, there have been curfews instituted, National Guard. It's gotten serious. It's gotten serious. Things were already at a very heightened point. And then we naturally, in this climate, get more. We get more. So there have been nights of violence, nights of unrest in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And last night, you had a situation that is chilling. It is really chilling. It has been chilling for me. Chilling, why? Why do I say chilling? Why is the word chilling? Because in this day and age, we have crimes happen in real time. We have things happen that are caught on video, that are caught photos, sometimes it's audio. And when you hear something happened and when you can see something happen, it is more impactful. Like when different officers have shot and killed people. The fact that we're able to see some of these images now and videos now, to me, makes it even more chilling. Now, I'm not saying that it wasn't already chilling, right? I'm not saying that it wasn't already chilling. And so last night, there was unrest. Law enforcement have arrested a 17-year-old today in connection with a shooting at a demonstration in Kenosha yesterday. They're demonstrating why. Because of the shooting of Blake, Mr. Blake. Okay? This 17-year-old that was arrested today for a shooting that occurred last night in Kenosha left 2 people dead and 1 injured. Okay? And so there have been videos floating around about this, and very disturbing. Very, very disturbing. The governor, Tony Evers, has declared a state of emergency as of yesterday. 500 National Guard members will be deployed this evening. And the officers involved have been placed on administrative leave, and they're investigating. So we don't have names yet. We don't have names yet, and that's of the shooting of Blake. We don't have those names just yet, and I'm sure when those names come out, depending on what happens, it's going to be a lot more things taking place. And as it relates to the arrest of this 17-year-old, like I said, the Wisconsin police shot Jacob Blake 7 times a few days ago. And there have been protests, okay? And, so the state agents claim that there was a knife on the driver's floorboard of the vehicle and no additional weapons, right? No gun, right? No charges have been announced yet. But where we get to this 17-year-old arrested, he wanted to be a police officer, right? And he had a gun, right? And so the third straight night of protests. So you had Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night protests, which people are in their right to protest. I can understand why they're protesting. It makes sense to me that they would protest, and all of that. Like, so some people seem to have this belief that people can't protest, right? If you don't like what people are protesting for, it's not, it's not in, you don't think that it's something that should be allowed, right? I do not agree with that. Even if you don't agree with the reason that they're protesting, if it's peaceful, they should be able to protest, right? So this is another instance where we have someone who was, in this instance, shot multiple times by police unarmed. He didn't have a gun on him. And people are reacting to that. Now, in the midst of that, you have some people who are angry about other things, and they want to come and counter protests. Because why are people outside with guns? Why are people outside with guns? Not the police. He thought he was the police, right? And he's seen other police officers kill people, shoot people. So he's walking around with the gun. He's 17 years old, right? This had been a 17-year-old black man with a gun that shot and killed some people. I don't know how many people would be rushing to defend him, but I see a lot of people online defending this 17-year-old accused murderer, right? 2 people were killed, and a third one was wounded in this attack that appears to be carried out by this young white man who was caught on cell phone video footage opening fire in the middle of the street with a semi-automatic weapon. Now, some defenders and supporters are going to say he was beat up and he was defending himself, and I've seen all kinds of stuff. Other people have said that he was beat up and then shot the people. Now, the gunman says, and you can hear him in the video at one point saying, "I just killed somebody." This is just before midnight on Tuesday. In the wake of these killings, the National Guard has come out because now things are going to escalate even more. So in protest, in nights of protest, where you have a person who was shot multiple times by the police, thankfully not killed, but injured severely. Now we have 2 people dead, right? And the person who did the shooting was not protesting the killing of Mr. Jacob Blake, right? So now we have things escalating even more. People hijacking the movement. This is not what this was about. Now, understand this. I do know that people are taking these situations and making the most of their situations and being selfish and making it about them. This is supposed to be about equal justice and proper policing. That's what it's supposed to be about. Senseless. All of this is senseless if we don't get to the meat of the problem. So the governor claims that he is going to be working with other states to bring in additional National Guard members and law enforcement. Now, authorities announced at 7 p.m. A 7 p.m. curfew is an hour earlier than what it had been. It had been 8 p.m. Now it's 7 p.m. going forward, at least until Sunday. Now, law enforcement, sheriff from Kenosha said that there was a group of people that asked, could citizens be deputized so they could help with the protest and, getting the protests in order. And he claims that he said no, right? Now, this 17-year-old was a police hopeful. He wanted to be a police officer. And maybe if he hadn't killed someone today, he could be a police officer. But his judgment, let me say this, his judgment is not one that I would want to be a police officer in Wisconsin. Just having a gun and being white and deciding that you want to do it, that alone doesn't make you eligible to be a police officer. There's some mental and some physical, analysis that has to go on. Are you mentally capable to be a police officer? How do you respond under pressure? And the way that these officers have been responding is not the way that it needs to be. That's what needs to change. That's the biggest part. What do you do when you are in a pressure situation? How are you handling the pressure of a life and death situation? Or a situation that may make you uncomfortable, but it's not life or death. Or it doesn't have to mean the death of someone else, right? How are you handling these life or death choices? Senseless tragedy like this must stop. So the Governor Evers, said that I again ask those who choose to exercise their First Amendment rights, please do so peacefully and safely. That's what he said. And a lot of times, people who do not support the theory of Black Lives Matter, the very true statement alone. Let's put politics aside. The statement, Black Lives Matter. People who disagree with that statement and may want to politicize that statement are angered by that statement. We really need to look at the statement. Forget the political organizations, forget the organizations attached to it. Let's just talk about the statement itself. A black person, does their life matter? Yes or no? I'm not saying that no other life doesn't matter. I'm just saying specifically, does a black life matter? Yes. Yes, it does. Why that angers some people is that's the issue. Why does it anger people to hear that? Because black people are the main people being shot and killed by the police. And when you look at the time that has been served by officers who've killed unarmed black people and the time that Michael Vick served, for dog killing, Michael Vick served more time. So people will question, do you think that my life doesn't matter? But as I said, arrests have been made. Demonstrations continue, even past the curfew. And protesters have begun, or last night anyway, were trying to push over a fence. They had a fence around the courthouse. Courthouse naturally holds some prisoners, and they have his fence. Hopefully it's stronger than the fence that Trump was trying to get Mexico to pay for, because it didn't appear that strong. But the sheriff's deputies in the riot gear were out, and there were, we got an air blowing in here. There were projectiles being thrown, and there's so many things that are mixed up in this when we talk about it. You have some people that are protesting peacefully. Throwing the projectiles at the police is not protesting peacefully. And who is throwing these projectiles? Right? I'm seeing images, people throwing projectiles. I don't see black people throwing that. We would not taunt the police in that way, right? They're already killing people for nothing, right? And what really bothers me by this is that everybody is saying something different, like they're not looking at the same stuff, right? Like they're not looking at the same stuff, right? So you have the protesters, they're chanting Black Lives Matter, and they're trying to square off with the law enforcement, right? Now, them throwing the rocks and fireworks at the police have the tear gas and the flashbangs. We've got to get past this point. Because at the end of the day, more people being killed is not going to be the answer. The state of emergency being declared is only going to turn things up even more. It's going to bring more law enforcement, and the National Guard is not going to be inexperienced with dealing with things. The sheriff was talking about in Kenosha, they were not experienced in dealing with rioting. So they didn't know really how to handle things. They did not know how to handle things, and the National Guard is not going to play the same games, right? They're not going to take the same stuff. So just more people could be hurt. Milwaukee Bucks boycott Game 5 of their NBA playoff series in response to that Blake shooting. And the Bucks have opted to not leave their locker room for Game 5, which is against the Orlando Magic in response to the police shooting in Wisconsin. And the NBA and the WNBA called off all of their Wednesday night games. And some teams in baseball have also followed suit. It is, there's a clear line. Are you on the side of right? Or are you on the side of wrong? That's where we are. Now, there are many people that are on the right that are going to try to defend the actions of a 17-year-old that was arrested for murder. Some of the things that I've seen online today, and I see all kind of stuff online normally, but some of the things I've seen online today just intensify the need to get Donald Trump out of office, because the mentality, the words, the things that he justifies or emboldens, these are the result. These things that we're seeing from citizens are the result of a leader in office who is not strong when it comes to condemning things of hate. But as I said, the murderer has been arrested, and now we need to get to the controversial part about it. I don't even know if controversial is the right word, because this is not the first time we have seen officers give shield to clear murderers, right? This guy had a gun. Nobody shot him, right? I'm sure that are police scared to shoot someone with a gun? They're only able to shoot people without guns? What is this about? What is it about? 17-year-old. And if we don't get this thing in check, there are going to be more. More what? More of everything. More rioting. More shootings on both sides. Right? More violence on both sides. But at the end of the day, when all of that's over with, we're still at the same point that we were. Fair is fair, right is right. So protests are going to continue. And 2 people dead as of now. What does that mean going forward? So just tuning in, Don McKay Show, Radio on Fire, at the Don McKay Show, at Radio on Fire. Authorities have identified this suspect, the 17-year-old, who I hope is charged as an adult, Kyle Rittenhouse. And he escaped. I'm using the word escaped, right? To Illinois. Illinois is not far, about 15 miles away from Kenosha. So it's not far, right? 15 miles is not far. But escaped nonetheless. This police wannabe 17-year-old holding an assault weapon in his hand, right? Charged with suspicion of first-degree intentional homicide. That's the actual charge. And the shooting happened during another night of rioting following the police shooting of Jacob Blake. So, as I said, people are going to try to defend it. They're going to defend anything, right? They're going to try to defend anything. Racists are going to try to defend anything. Sheep will try to defend anything. But let's look at what happened here. People are dead. People are dead. And this 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse needs to be charged as an adult. The police released a statement, and this is the police in the city in Illinois that he was arrested in. The recent events taking place in nearby Kenosha County are certainly troubling and concerning, the police said in Illinois. In response to the numerous posts currently circulating on social media, the village would like to assure the community that we continue to make the safety of our residents, visitors, and businesses our top priority. Over the last 12 hours, we became aware of several posts that may imply that our community may experience social unrest. Since becoming aware of this information, the police department has devoted its full attention to evaluating every one of these posts in an attempt to determine their level of validity and credibility. The police department continues to work in full collaboration with our law enforcement partners at the local, county, and state levels to ensure we are prepared for any impacts. Why did they say that? They're nervous. They're nervous because people are now talking about turning up in their city. They continue. Many of you are aware of the shooting incident that took place last night in Kenosha, reportedly involving one of our teens. Since the shooting took place, police have been tirelessly working with law enforcement partners to bring the matter to a safe and peaceful resolution. They continued. This morning, Kenosha County authorities issued an arrest warrant for the individual responsible for the incident, charging him with first-degree intentional homicide. The suspect in this incident, 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse, is currently in custody in the Lake County Judicial System pending extradition to transfer from the custody of Illinois to Wisconsin. And they continued by saying that they are saddened by all loss of life, hearts and prayers to the extended family and the loved ones. This is coming from the mayor. Concerning the post on social media, and he talked about that, further information and all of that. Anyone who believes that they are witness to suspicious activity concerning the aforementioned should immediately call 911. As always, they can remain anonymous. Although charged with a crime, the named are presumed innocent until convicted in the court of law. So that's where we are, and there are going to be more examples of unrest, and I hope that people are able to calm down. But at the same time, we need some change to come. How do we get to that change? How do we get to a point where we do not have this occurring so regularly that people are immune to it? That's the trick. That's the question. That is the goal. That's the goal. To get things to the point where this is not the norm. And right now, this is just becoming the norm. Just becoming the norm. So, as always, I welcome your thoughts. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire, of course. We will be back later on tonight for night number 3 of the RNC 2020. Mike Pence is set to address from Fort McHenry here in Baltimore. And I'm sure that there's going to be a lot more to talk about with regards to that as the RNC heads to its eventual end tomorrow with words from the president. That's going to be a whole debacle. So, the Diamond K Show, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and all of that. Even if you disagree with what I'm saying, I still want to hear from you, and I enjoy talking to people about different things. And so, let's go a little bit, and I'm going to look at that. Okay, so this is RW is saying that, do I realize, and this is, I'm reading a comment here, do I realize that this is a 17-year-old defending businesses? Who hired him to defend businesses? Is he licensed to defend businesses? He's 17 years old. His business is in the damn house, okay? Rioters were offended that he was protecting businesses and lives. You're not protecting businesses and lives, taking lives. Who is this? What are you talking about? Okay. So he attacked them in self-defense. Doesn't even make sense. Rioters got killed. That's one person. Somebody else said that he was an underaged. He was underaged. His weapon was illegal. He traveled from Illinois to Wisconsin with the intent of using his weapon. He was not called upon for help, nor was he deputized. He is a thug. That is Rain Man. And I agree with Rain Man. I mean, clearly, right? Let's not even let's not even gloss over the fact. Let's just pretend that his weapon was legal, right? In Illinois, right? But going to Wisconsin he's not licensed in Wisconsin, right? And who's going to hire a 17-year-old to protect their business, right? Who? Nobody. So others are talking about voting, and I talk about voting often. I do, because it is important. Now, it is very important, and we are in election season. So let me say that. So in addition to that, someone else, Boxing Your Brains Out, says that the murdering thug should have been put to sleep on the spot. Wow. Okay. That is, that's a lot. That's a lot. I don't understand why we have such disagreement with regards to things that are not disputed. Okay. This 17-year-old thug, I like the word thug. This 17-year-old has been hired by nobody. You can't just go out with a gun and just start shooting people and then say, I'm defending businesses, right? You can't do it. Nice try, but it is not a fact. It is not a fact. So why was he running the streets, right? That's a good question. Why was he running the streets alone, right? With a gun. Oh, no, that's right. He's defending a business. That's what he said. He's defending a business, right? A lot of times when you have people like this walking around looking for trouble, everything looks like a nail, right? Everything looks like a nail when you're a hammer. If he's walking the streets looking for trouble, he's going to find it easily. And he found the trouble. I wonder how tough he's going to be in jail, right? Not that tough, right? Crying for his mother in jail. That's what's going to happen. But such is life. Such is life. Very interesting. Let's see how tough he is in jail. Of course, as I said, follow the Diamond K Show on Spotify, your favorite podcast network. New shows dropping daily. We will be back 11 p.m. after the RNC concludes for tonight. Advertise your message. RadioFire.com/advertise. He was looking for trouble, and he was the trouble. Now he is in trouble, right? Now he's in trouble, and he's gonna get everything. He's gonna get everything he got coming to him. And let me say this: the people that are defending this 17-year-old walking the streets, police wannabe, right? It's not going to be the same. This kid's not going to get off as easy as some of these cops, right? He's a cop supporter, but he ain't no cop. And I saw this idiot online saying that if he has a legal defense fund, she wanted to donate to it. She wants to donate to it. Well, okay, whatever. Support the program via Cash App, $DJ Diamond K. I bring you independent news, progressive opinion on politics, social issues, and entertainment. Booking media requests, djdiamondk@gmail.com. Until next time, if you see it, then you can be it. It is all about having vision. My name is Diamond K. Salute. I will see you guys later on today. Later on tonight, after the conclusion of tonight's RNC day number 3.